moaning, I'm afraid. Before this last update, I'll tell you what graphics card I got first. I got an RX 6600 and I'm running a Ryzen 7 5600X, which is, pretty powerful. Oh, I know, not completely up to date, but, it's a pretty powerful PC. Before this update, I had the FPS capped at 60, and I was always getting 60 FPS in medium settings, with some of the settings customized to high. I was always getting 60 FPS, no matter what, or no matter where I was or what I was doing. It was rock steady on 60 FPS. And now, since this update, here we go. Using a lot of RAM, nearly 22 gig of RAM. But I'm only using, I've still got 1.5 gig of video memory to go, VRAM. It's not always running at 100%, down to 80% now, the graphics card. It sort of fluctuates between 80 and 99. And I'm getting sometimes only 14 or 15 FPS, which is bloody disgusting. What have they done to this? I did notice when I first logged in, well, not the first time, the second time I logged into the game today, I noticed when I went to settings that it had lowered my settings to low. It actually lowered my settings to low on its own after this update. So I put them back up to medium. I haven't put any of the other settings up to high that I had before. And I'm getting really shit FPS now. Why? What have they done to this game? I know I've got a smart Inzoi on, but I had that on before as well, and I was still getting rock steady 60 FPS all the time. And now I'm not. And the graphics card's not even fully utilised most of the time. So, what have they done? They're supposed to have optimised it more this time, but it looks like they've done exactly the opposite and unoptimised it. I don't know what's going on with Inzoi, I really don't. It's terrible. I go out into the town, there's so many townies around. And you're watching them walk, and they're not walking, they walk a step, and then all of a sudden they jump about 5 yards ahead, and then walk another step. It's terrible. It is really bad now. Unless you've got a £5,000, well, I reckon it's even crap on those now as well. Unless you've got a £5,000 computer, which, not a lot of people can afford to spend that much on a computer. So they're going to severely limit the amount of people that can play this game. And in doing so, they're not going to make any money. So what is the point? It's this bloody UE5, the Unreal Engine 5. It is so naff trying to make this kind of game in it. I don't think they'll ever even get multitasking sorted out, because I don't think UE5 really supports it properly. So I don't think they'll manage to do it. I think they chose the wrong engine to make this game in, to be quite honest. I've only got a few mods, not very many at all. I actually had to disable one because it was making the game crash when they tried to woohoo. And that was the change into underwear mod. So I disabled that one. And yeah, now it's running alright. I mean, she's pregnant and everything. Got her boyfriend to move in. They're not married. and I don't see any need for them to be either. Like when the game first came out, they were forcing people to get married before they could have a baby. So it's up to 59 FPS again now. Oh, it hit 60. That's the first time I've seen it hit 60. What if I zoom in a bit? The Steam's just... Oh no, there it goes again. So, interrupted by my wife. Oh, I don't even know where I was now. So it's it's going up to 59 FPS every now and then. I wonder what it goes down to when I go into the town. I'm in Kahea at the moment. On one of these big plots. I've altered the house a little bit. I've put an extra bathroom and a child's room on there as well. I put a beanbag down there because he wanted to. Oh, I don't know. He wanted to do something while I was on the beanbag. Can't remember what it was. Thoughtful thoughts or something. But the option wasn't there. The option on the beanbag is just sit down and sit and relax. And I chose sit down, and the want cleared anyway. What does he want now? Oh yeah, this is another thing. I want to drink water. Where do you think you might get water from? Do you think you might get it from the sink? No, you can't get water from the sink. You can wash your hands, wash your face and brush your teeth and splash water playfully, but you can't get a sodden drink of water. So I had to buy a bloody water cooler so that you could have a drink of water. You can drink water from the water cooler, but you can't drink it from the bloody sink. How ridiculous is that? Maybe in Korea the water is so poisoned that you can't drink it from the tap, but a lot of the world you can just drink water straight from the sink. You don't have to have a bloody water cooler in the house. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to play this anymore for the time being. It seems to be pretty steady now for a little while. Let's get him to go into town. It's middle of the night, but there might be some townies around. Let's go to Senang Park. Go here. I bought her a scooter. Right. You can't go anywhere on the bloody thing. You can manually drive it yourself, but you can't click on somewhere and say scooter here or drive here or whatever. Where was he going? Speed it up a bit. That stayed at 59. Oh, now here we go. Maybe a few people will autonomously turn up. So we're back. We're back down to. Oh, it's gone back up again. There's nobody around. Few scooters. I think they've overdone the populating bit. It was just really crowded here earlier on. There were too many Zois around. There's a few Zois here and that. So it's not too bad at the moment, 56, 55. But it's still not the constant 60 I was getting. Oh no, that's another thing. All the Zoids that are walking around town, they're either starving hungry, or need to go to bed, or need the bathroom. What they should do with these Zoids that they get to walk around is make them so that they don't decay. You know, a wedding studio. She wanted to get married, but I wouldn't let her. Oh yeah, he wanted to play the drums. There's some drums here. I'm not sure that drums were in the game before, whether they put them in. I'm sure it was just piano and guitar previously, and the microphone obviously. But I'm pretty sure there weren't drums. I'm sure there weren't drums before. So drums are pretty new. Drums, you make friends with these Zoids, and then you can't message them or anything because they're not really in the game. They're like the homeless Sims in Sims. But at least, oh yeah, we're going back down now. There's a few more about now. So we've gone down to 13, 14, 15 FPS. It's just ridiculous. What have they done that has affected the game as much as that? I can't afford to pay 1,500 quid for a graphics card, and I don't suppose most people can. So why are they optimizing it to such high value graphics cards? I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you look at their lowest stats that are required to run this game, it wouldn't run on that anymore. I'm sure it wouldn't. I mean, look, I've got 22 gig of RAM being used at the moment. What collaborative performance? There's no other ways around to work with, mate. Well, nobody that he could work with anyway. These are all homeless, not really in the game. Jalan network in progress. Let's cancel that. So I don't know. But that's terrible. You're going down to 12 FPS now. 12, 11, 13, 15. Which is disgusting. I've not got a low-end graphics card. And I've not got an ultra high-end graphics card. But it's a graphics card that should handle this without any problems at all. And it was before. Well, actually, before the update, before this last update, I was running oh no, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh dear, I don't know. Brain cells are all dying. Don't get old. I really have just forgotten what I was going to say, and I was just going to say it. I don't know. It gets a bit disheartening when you can't remember things. Especially when you've just thought of it and you've forgotten it already. What was I going to say? I don't know. Anyway. Oh yeah, I've just remembered now. Before the update, before this last update, I could run the game in high with some of the settings set to ultra and still get 60 FPS. So after that update, after the so-called optimization they did then, they made things worse that time as well. because I couldn't run it in high anymore with some of the settings set to ultra. I had to lower it to medium and set some of the settings to high. And now, if I want to get a decent FPS again, I'm probably going to have to put it back down to low. Well, let's see, shall we? And I didn't set any of the other options. I didn't customize it. This is just all medium still. Realistic shadows is even turned off. So, I didn't alter it at all. Let's put it back into low, which is what the game set it to after the last update. Or I shouldn't have to set it to low, not with an RX 6600. When I first started playing this, I was playing on RX 580, and I was getting 75 FPS in medium when I first started playing this game. And that card had 8 gig of RAM, and I only had 16 gig of RAM in my computer then. So it's still not terrific. I got about an extra 4 FPS. Yeah, I had an RX 580 then, and I was getting 75 FPS in medium settings. But that card broke, so I had to buy another card. So I bought a newer one. It's actually an updated one because it's better than the original RX 6600 because the memory speed is higher, or the GPU speed is higher actually, and the memory speed's a little bit higher than the original 6600. Obviously my CPU's not struggling, I've got things running in the background as well that wouldn't affect my GPU because they're not being utilised at the moment. But obviously they still use a little bit of a CPU, but no GPU. And my GPU is not struggling. It's only 50 degrees centigrade. It's not like 75 degrees and struggling. But that is really bad. I've got it in low now, and it's only maximum 20 FPS. I was playing the drums. So another thing I noticed since the update before this last update, learning to play the guitar, level 1 to level 2. Takes an extremely long time now. I had a Inzoi practically play the guitar for an hour straight, and they didn't even get to halfway between level 1 and level 2. And she has been playing the guitar quite a lot. She's been doing it autonomously. Why is she eating? She doesn't need to eat. I got needs turned off. And she's only... Oh, come on. I don't want the guitar symbol there. I want how much she's left. She's still not even... Well, she's just about 2/3 of the way now to level 2. But she's been playing the guitar maybe an hour and a half real time to get that far. Oh, this is terrible. This is unacceptable. What do they expect people to do? They really expect people to go out and pay $5,000 on a computer to play a game that shouldn't need a computer like that. I'm pretty disgusted at that. I am. Before this update, like I say, 60 FPS constant, rock solid 60 FPS, no matter where I went or what I did. 60 FPS. I'm going to leave it there. You can make your own minds up about this game, but you know, when it just gets worse and worse and worse. So anyway, going to leave it there. Cheerio, everybody.